Japanese movie that I haven't done yet. This is not a kaiju film. It's just a sci-fi film done by Toho. It's from 1959. The last of this trilogy I have to do, yeah, of these three films. Battle in Outer Space. I've done Mothra last year in the H-Man, so now it's time to do Battle in Outer Space. It's about 90 minutes long, so not too long. So let's get to this one, shall we? I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this movie in a while. Space, the final frontier. Hmm. Battle in Outer Space. This is like an Ultraman episode. This is before Ultraman came out. This is the original Japanese version because you get the real performances from the actors, not a dub. I think they also use that spaceship in the Mysterians. I haven't seen the Mysterians yet. I got to getting around to that by Asian month. These effects still look great for that time. There's the title. There's that Akira Fukabe's awesome score. He did most of the Godzilla scores in the 50s and 60s. Back then, Toho knew what they were doing because they made all kinds of films. Kind of like today, we have Blumhouse and A24, but these people had less budget than they did. At the time. These movies are classics. Even this one's decent. It's not great because there's no monsters in it, but it's still better than a lot of Asian movies we get today. Some of them that are overly long and just a little bit, you know, pretentious. And I'm not talking about Japan. I'm saying like some of those Indian films that are 3 hours. Why are they 3 hours? Tell me. Why do they have to be 3 hours for? I don't get it. Because none of these Godzilla movies or Toho movies are 3 hours long. Excuse me. I saw this guy. He was in Godzilla versus Monster Zero. Mm. Yeah, they're dubbing over they're translating the Japanese one. Italy. There are people all over the world that they say, you know. These guys have like the same expression on their face. I also miss when they could make sci-fi movies without CGI, because they did it a lot back in the day, in the 50s and 60s. Because you know now with CG, they just that pretty much is the filmmaking now. Just put people or in the cap suits and a bunch of green screen, and there you go. There's your film. Like, that's not the only kind of filmmaking that there is, guys. The UN building, sort of. Yeah. Mm. So Spanish countries, Germany, Japan, Russia. This is what I don't want to work for these people because you have to sit there and listen to all these languages. It would drive me nuts. I'm not a linguist, guys. I didn't even like jury duty when I went in 2007. Uh oh. Iran is getting a headache. Mm-hmm. Get it? The Arabic country was the first one to give in to this power. Ahmed. Mm-hmm. The score is amazing. Take me to your leaders. Iwamura. We have entered the space age. Astronauts go into space almost every year. And this doesn't count as a Godzilla movie. There's no Godzilla here. He's not in this film. It's just a sci-fi movie, just without monsters in it, like the H-Man was. See, that's supposed to be Canada, but yet they dub them over in Japanese because this is the Japanese version of the film. But we're all one people. No matter our differences in languages, dialects, accents, or looks, we're all in the same planet, guys. Some of us don't act very human, but we're still on the same planet. Deal with it. I'm glad I'm doing this one because it's the last of these 3 films. The other 2 Godzilla films, I'll eventually do the Japanese version. I'll have to stream them because those are the dub versions. And I don't want to get a block from Toho, a guideline strike. Because any major company that still makes films will block me. Unless the movie's public domain. If it's public domain, I could blast it all the way to high heaven because there's no copyright infringement. A year later, they did Mothra. The original Mothra and I believe War of the Gargantuas or something like that, yeah. Toho branched out. They didn't just do the same monsters. They branched out. Some of them worked and some of them didn't. Like, I didn't like Varan. Varan the Invincible or whatever. The Unbelievable. I didn't like Varan. I thought it was boring. Because the monster doesn't show up until late in the film. And it's just so slow. I never saw this one as a kid because, again, they never aired this movie. If they aired this movie, it was like once every like 5 years or something like that because I never heard of it. The original Mothra I saw not as a kid, but as when I was in college, and the H-Man I also saw that when I was in college on TCM. They gave it, and I was like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a Toho movie with a different premise." Okay. Yeah, I can watch any of their films as long as they're not 3 hours long. I'm not doing a podcast for any 3-hour movies this month. 2 hours or less. No more than 2 hours and change, because you know how it is. Looking for some hurt. Hold on. I haven't seen this one, but I saw H-Man yesterday, which is okay. But again, Josh, it's not fast paced. These old movies, a lot of them are very slow. Even the original Godzilla, like It has to put the atmosphere in before it gets to the action. That's how cinema was back in the 50s and the 60s. It wasn't like Guardians of the Galaxy. It was more 2001: The Space Odyssey. Because this collection is fairly rare to find on Amazon. I didn't pay much for it because I got it a couple years ago on my birthday, so I was lucky. Because I'm like, during the pandemic, I had to buy a lot of Godzilla films and Toho films just so they don't go up in price. Because now, if you'd be lucky to get a Godzilla movie for under $40, unless you get really lucky. Last year, yes, I saw it last year too, Josh. I'm doing this because this movie's not a British film. Yammick. They're struggling. Hmm. Yep. It's a good score. I like the score in this movie. Dun, dun, dun. It's a trademark score that would be similar in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, and that was in the '90s. That's what it sounds like. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, scores are so legendary, man. Sometimes I just want to watch these movies to hear the score, because the Fuka-based soundtrack is excellent. A lot of his scores from the Toho movies are legendary. Yeah, beam me up, Scotty. This is also before Star Trek came out. So, yeah, the original series. You said they whispered that dialogue. How atrocious? No, I've seen worse. Mm-hmm. The planet Natal. Because there's a lot of Asian stuff I'm doing this month because, well, there's no Brits in them. Because The Boy and the Heron has Brits in the English dub. Why? I don't get it. It's a Miyazaki movie. Don't you want to make it more American if you're dubbing it? Why are you gonna put Brits in there? It just confuses people. They didn't do that with Demon Slayer last year, or K-pop Demon Hunter, or One Piece or whatever, or My Hero Academia. It just takes me out of it when they put Brits in anime. It doesn't make any sense. I saw a lot of animes and they never usually put Brits voices. It doesn't fit the mouths for me. We're 20 minutes in already. Set them up already, Josh. Stop wasting time. We're 9 days into 2026 and you haven't set up one thing. I've been just setting them up left and right. I'm gonna take a break after Sunday. I gotta rest a few days and then I'll come back. Cause I need a break. Plus I have to fill that list up with movies. I still got over 500 films I have to sit through, or short films, to fill up that list. It's a lot of films. Can't do a podcast every day. Just this weekend, because it's going to rain and... Oh boy, a quiet moment. This is when they could smoke in films. And it's still got a G rating. Japanese girls are so sexy, man. They're like, how dare you? No, how dare you? Attacking them when they had nothing to do with COVID. It was China, not Japan. They had nothing to do with it. All the Asian countries other than China are innocent. They had nothing to do with it. And nothing else. Well, you have Blade. Set that up and then do it, Josh. That's all you need to do. You don't take a year off, because the year is going to pass you by if you don't do anything. On the Earth or on the Moon? You guess. Yeah, you have to be sure. A woman wants a definite answer, not yes. A yes or a no, not maybe. I feel like I'm watching another movie now, like a Japanese drama. Cinema doesn't have to just be mainstream or things that are way too long. There could be some smaller 90-minute movie. Because nowadays they think length is substance. I'm like, no, you're just boring people to death. It's why Avatar Fire and Ash didn't make a 2 billion. Because it's too long, guys. 3 hours is too long for any movie. For any movie. If Endgame was lucky to get that, and really, without the end credits, it's 2 hours and 49 minutes. So it doesn't break that rule. But movies like Killers of the Flower Moon and Titanic and Gone with the Wind, they don't need to be as long as they are. They could be an hour shorter and they will get to the point a lot faster. Audiences are just tired of movies that are overly long. They are, I know, because I saw when I went to see Interstellar, it was pretty empty. Because people don't want to sit through a 3 hour movie. Or close to it. It just bores them to tears. This TikTok generation, people want things happening like instantly. They don't want to wait an hour. This movie, the aliens don't show up until about like 10 to 15 minutes into the film. And you just see the spaceships and a bunch of beams. At least it's not a bunch of stock footage like some of the Gamera movies. That You got to stop caring about what people think, Josh, because I stopped caring a long time ago. That's why I just keep going. People will watch me if I try, at least make a freaking attempt. It sounds like Zigra. A spaceship. Limited doesn't mean you can't try, Josh. You have 3 movies, use them. I did 3 movies last year. I didn't make excuses. I did all 3 Swan Princess movies. Even though I couldn't put the DVDs because, again, this DVD player's old, so it skips sometimes. They're going into space. It's a black character, so what? What are you doing? You're not preaching about Black Lives Matter, Josh. Just do it already. Stop wasting my time, please. I did Superman last year with Mr. Terrific, and nobody batted an eye. Why? Because you're too self conscious. I'm not. Okay, I am what I am, and I'm gonna accept it because what else am I gonna do? I just shut off the chat. Shut it off. I don't want any more. Tired. I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of talking in the chat. There we go. I'm gonna shut off the chat. I'm leaving the chat off for Sunday because I don't want to hear it. I hate this movie. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I just want to do my podcast in peace and move on with my day. Unlike you, I don't have to put paragraphs in my blogs. When I log something, I don't have to do a paragraph. I do one sentence at a time. Now let's get back to the movie, shall we? Sheesh. I don't need a comment every time I do something. I gotta get enough of that from my dad. It's a black character, so I can't do it. Yeah, you're just scared. I'm not. I fear nothing. I could literally do a NC-17 movie, and YouTube can't flag me because they're not gonna see any footage. So the only thing I can't do is an adult film because then, yeah, they can't because of the controversies. 'Cause like I said, the chat it bothers me a lot of the time. That's why Sunday I'm gonna do the podcast with no chat. I don't need it. I don't want to hear about it. You guys can leave your comments when the thing's uploaded, because I just need peace and quiet. Six, five, blast off, blast off. We're 31 minutes in. I just want to do these podcasts in peace. If not, I'll just leave the chat off from now on, because I don't need it. For Endgame, I don't need the chat, because there's going to be like 100 freaking notifications. And I don't want to hear it. I told you. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to read it. I don't want to read spam. I'm good. Some podcasts I'm going to leave the chat on, and some I'm going to leave it off. That's just how it is. I make the decisions, not an algorithm. They're in space now. It's weird to have white people in this movie, because this was when they were integrating American actors into the Japanese films in the 50s and the early 60s. When I do something, I don't want to be bothered. I said it. Not by anybody. I don't. I want to just do this podcast, get it over with, and then move on with my day. That's something I can do, because I'm not handicapped. Not ADHD is not a handicap, guys. I can still function like a normal human being. Well, as normal as I can be, because I'm not normal sometimes. I don't feel normal when everybody else is acting strange, and I'm the only one with sense and rhyme and reason. I'm not gonna take a year off. I don't have that kind of time to waste. Got a lot of movies I got to revisit, and I'm going to. End of story. This is a commentary, not a Q&A, and not a discussion. It's me discussing the film, and that's it. That's what it is. And if you guys can't handle that, then don't go in the chat. Especially you spammers that try to say that I'm a subscriber and you're not. You're not. It's better off when I was doing it on StreamYard. I didn't get as much spam as I do here on YouTube. Anybody can show up. Any of these bots show up in my chat. There's the headache again. This is why when I go to Comic-Con, I don't even bother answering text messages or anything. I'm like, no, unless it's my mom, I don't answer to anybody. My mom or my sister, that's it. Unless it's an emergency, and it's never an emergency. A ray gun? Spit. Yep, contact. Space battles. You think I'm going to be afraid to do one of the MCU movies in February? No, I can do whatever I want. Like I said, there are no limits to me because I have a computer, a phone, and even the Nintendo Switch, and I can watch something on that on YouTube. Blow my nose. The chat's off anyway, so nobody can bother me now. We're 38 minutes in. I do this for you guys, and then some of you don't appreciate it. Instead, you throw your complaints on there. No, do that somewhere else. Don't do it here. Looks like an asteroid. And he's strong. Do not approach the moon, huh? See, the aliens are telling him to stay away from our planet. There it is. Yeah, this is the last Japanese movie I'm doing for a while. Mainly because I don't want to read any more subtitles until February or March. Mainly. Because, like I said only one film per franchise. I did a Godzilla movie, and I'm not doing a Gamera movie till May. So, so I could rest my case. They're gonna land on the moon, even though they warned them, don't come here. Next week I'll just do some reviews instead of podcasts for a while because I need a break. Tired of these freaking chats coming out, and then some of it is not even super chats, just more explanations. Again, I told you I don't want to read too much. I'm already reading these subtitles. It's hard to read both. Godzilla vs. Monster Zero did a similar thing, except it was Planet X, not the moon. A few years after this, in 1965, I believe, yeah. And then it was released in the U.S. in 1970 because Nick Adams passed away. So look at these sets and these little like props that they use. It's a slower film. If you want a faster version of this, see Godzilla vs. Monster Zero or Invasion of Astro Monster because that one has a much faster pace. Well, with the space exploration, they get on Planet X way sooner than 47 minutes in. I've done what, 3 Japanese movies this month so far. I did Final Fantasy Advent Children. I did Godzilla versus, that means Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, and this one. So that's 3. I think that's enough until the Asian month. There's the Earth. Yeah. Those look like little toys. There we go. That'll help. Cause I'm just tired. I don't do these podcasts to start a conversation, out of tech context. At least I did the other 2 films, so I don't have to revisit them for a while. Those suits also look like the same ones they would use in Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. They're similar. I think those are orange, just a different color. He's trying to get out. Also, the alien mind control thing was in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, which I did last year, so. Enemy base, huh? We're almost an hour in. We're 2/3 of the way through. Yeah, prevent right in the head. That was also in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. Just slow walking on the moon. I'm not gonna let people stress me out in 2026. I said no more. I don't want your burdens in my freaking chat. I don't want anybody's burdens on my chat. That's not what the chat's for. Ugh. not saying much because I don't have much to say about this movie. It's just, it's slow. It's got good visuals and the acting's fine, but it's slower than a lot of the Godzilla, the Toho, other Toho films I've seen in the past. That's why I waited till the end to do this one because it's slow, just like The Witcher is slow. It's very slow, but it's short. It's not 2.5 hours or 3 hours. I never started YouTube to have to to hang out with people that are completely different from me that don't get it. We're all different, but it doesn't mean you have to like throw your burdens in my face. I don't want to hear it, especially next week, because we're past New Year's, we're past my birthday, so we have to move on. Aliens. And the spaceship is blown up. I bet people didn't see that coming in the 50s. It didn't crash, it just blew up completely. Ray gun. We're almost done. Of course they're gonna attack. What else do aliens do? If they're not friendly, they're gonna blow things up. I saw Independence Day. And tomorrow I'm just gonna take a break and just see a movie and not be bothered again. I don't want any more. Here comes that awesome score again. Retaliation. Yeah, no more Japanese movies for a while. Because again, it's not Asian month. It's January. There's nothing. You missed. Fire at will. It's like when people don't want to read negative comments. They shut off the comments and videos. I remember that music. Yep, that's from Godzilla versus Monster Zero. I love Ifukabe's score, man, so much. It means the world to me. I don't do these podcasts just to be heard. I show up, I do what I have to do, and I go home. That's what a podcast is all about. Do your thing. Stop saying you're going to set it up. Just set it up and do it. It's not that freaking hard. You don't work in slow motion, people. If Zack Snyder made this movie, it'd be 3.5 hours long. That music is amazing. Yep, it blew up. Enemy base is down. That score was also briefly in the original Godzilla. The march. Ah, that score is so legendary, man. I love it. But it was mostly in Monster Zero in the third act. They did recycle a lot of the same actors and effects and also sets from the Godzilla movies. Because at this time there was only two of them in 1959. You had the original and Raids Again. I'm taking a break. I'm going to do my podcast Sunday from Amanda P. And that's it. I'm going to take a break. Because some people can't, they have to always throw their burdens on me. They're getting off the moon. Because I didn't want to hear accents at the beginning of 2026. because I got burnt out by it last year and in 2024. So is that awesome score again? This is what I wanted to see. Space battles. And you have to wait so long for it, but again, it's worth it. The third act of the film saves it, because if not, this movie would have been donated a year ago. People watch these movies for the spectacle, and we all know why. Yeah, because they made these things without CGI from the 50s all the way to the 70s. It wasn't until the 90s where they started putting CG in Toho movies, and the 2000s especially. 69 minutes in. We're in the third act of the movie, so we're gonna end soon, and then I can move on with my day. Mm-hmm. It's almost 11 o'clock in the morning. More spaceships. It doesn't lie. The title does have Battle in Outer Space. They have this massive battle at the end with this, on the set of the moon. Nice shot. I don't like to be bothered in the winter. It's long enough. The battle to the end. So long, Moon. We'll see you at night. Look at her face. At least when I get emotional in a movie, it's real. I'm not trying to stage. What are they? Well, they're fight for freedom. Israel. Lava. Get up, because the movie's almost over anyway. The DVD's starting to skip. I'm gonna just stop this here. I'll stop it here. It's fine. You guys don't care anyway. Well, that was Battle from Outer Space. I did as much as I could because the disc is starting to skip. It's not the disc's fault. It's just that this DVD player is old. I have to get another one. But anyway, that's my podcast on that. I tried my best. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a few days. I need to take a long break, a little break tomorrow, so I don't have to. I could cancel the podcast tomorrow. So yeah, see you then, guys.